Hello, my name's He Who Is in the Water. Going to be doing a draft of Invasion-Planeshift-Apocalypse. Pretty much my all-time favorite format to draft. We got friend Hampus1 in the pod, which is exciting. This is a strange pack. I don't think I've ever really liked Mana Maze. Dream Thrush or Tribal Flames are probably the safer picks for like some slower multicolor decks, and I think that's what I want to bias towards. Saltmarsh, also super reasonable. I think I will just take the Dream Thrush, as flyers are pretty good and fixing is really important to access. Yeah, the rare to uncommon slot here is just very bad. It's really just Saltmarsh, and these are also some relatively weak commons from this pack. Okay, Spirit Weaver is interesting, but I think just take another piece of blue fixing and Seashell Cameo. Aquarian Trailblazer also really great. Scorching Lava is awesome. Benelish Lancer, also pretty great. Pretty great commons here. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about the cameo. These cameos are great because like usually this is an 18 land format, so being able to like replace your 18th land with one of these is just really nice. So one of the strategies I like to do for this format is you really want to bias towards Apocalypse because a lot of players won't be thinking about it. Insofar as like if you let yourself into or lead yourself down the path of being Jeskai, you just get hooked up in pack 3 when not a lot of people are picking those gold cards, which can be nice. And so like Exclude is really good towards playing towards Jeskai, I think, but there's also Annihilate, which is just so sick. Annihilate versus Exclude. This is question for the ages, but I think I want to cast Annihilate. Yeah, just the timing on Exclude is worse. Okay, now we got a cameo here. Or do I want to take the Plague Spores and just try to set myself up as Grixis? I think I want the fixing. Especially because if I stay Jeskai, this is good, and there's a reasonable chance. I guess this Plague Spores probably doesn't come back, but that card's not irreplaceable. Because it is basically just 6 mana to terminate. They can't hit black creatures. The destroying a land is not really valuable in this format. Despite the fact that you're playing 18 lands, I just don't think you get to stop your opponent on the axis. This is interesting. I don't really want to do Dismantling Blow, even though that's a nice 2-for-1 here. I'm thinking Benelish Trapper or Cursed Flesh. Trapper makes us lean more towards Esper, and I'm a little bit hesitant for that, but Cursed Flesh is just so replaceable. Yeah, let's take this. Yeah, Loafing Giant is not great. Another cameo. And Benelish Heralds. Huh. These are both cards that I would really like here. Well, Dalian Serpent's not bad. Heralds are another cameo. I think I just want the fixing. This card is very slow. we're in a pretty good spot with our fixing, though. I'm like rather excited about that. To have this come together that early. Like now we can just take this exotic curse. Wayfaring Giant is not bad because we are probably going to be like 4-color, no green at this point. And it is reasonably beefy, but Death or Glory is also not bad if we're playing a long game. But I don't know, your graveyard doesn't get super stocked, I don't think. Usually it's like the board clogs out and everybody's got all its activated abilities doing random stuff that makes it challenging. So I tend not to love... Phyrexian Slayer is just like pretty okay as a 2/2 flyer. I'm thinking it's this one or Sulfur Vent. I usually don't love the sack lands, but we are looking to be like heavier black and then touching those 2 other colors, so that's not actually bad here, but I think I'm worried enough about playable count. I'm not worried, but, you know, I want to make sure I end up in a good spot there. Nightscape Apprentice is okay, but I think I may just want Crimson Acolyte for the board. The first strike is just kind of hard to line up the best. Okay, we got Spirit Weaver. Not really ending up being that deck, so maybe I just take Glimmering Angel here. Yeah, I'm down for that. Hooded Kavu versus Fire Screamer, probably just a Kavu. Or, I mean, the red Kavu. I think the little bit of evasion can be nice there. Tidal Visionary is reasonable. Sometimes. You can have, like, that deck come together. It's not easy, but... I'll take Reaper for the board. Okay, I'm, like... not unhappy with how this is coming out. We can also just be like heading towards a Mardu deck, which is pretty great setup for pack 3. Yeah, this card is just too slow, and Voice of All is just one of the more busted creatures. I did one draft of this format already, and I was in a similar position, and I had to choose between Tarngrath and Voice of All, and I chose Tarngrath, and I'm not sure that was correct, but I just like Tarngrath too much. So now I'm going to redeem myself by taking the better card. And to the surprise of no one, I've ended up with a poopy red-black or white-black deck. Yeah, Samite Pilgrim is just bonkers. Especially in a 4-color deck like this. Silver Drake is also okay, but we're not like playing a ton of creatures. We got 3 white creatures, or 4 blue-white creatures, 2 black creatures. I guess we could reasonably cast it. It's also Terminal Marine for more fixing, but I don't really want to be passing playables for more fixing at this juncture. Yeah, I guess I'll take the Drake. I'm not really committed to either of these creatures, the Phyrexian Slayer or the Hooded Kavu. Like, I'll play them, but not great on it. Glimmering Angel's not great, but if I'm making my deck wide enough to cast Voice of All, which I certainly am, then I think I'll just play that one as well. Okay. Magma Burst is nuts, but we might be going a little too slow for that to be good. Waterspout Elemental is... it's okay. It's 5 mana, 3/4 flyer, and you can stop reading. Like, there's flavor text there if you want it, but... So I'm thinking Elemental, Magma Burst. I don't think we can do Cavern Harpy. Think I'll do the Magma Burst here. This is a nice 2-for-1 on removal. Yeah. I mean, we sacrifice land, so it's not just, pure 2-for-1, but it's pretty good. If we're doing Mardu stuff, then Caldera Kavu is pretty solid. Volcano Imp is okay. Disciple of Kanji is okay. I would play both of those, but I think the Kavu here is just a little more annoying to deal with. And especially you got 2 black cameos. Okay, Dromar's Charm. I think that one's good enough for us. This pack is also pretty weak. Like, I'd be taking this Boros Guildgate, which is certainly pretty good, but again, 3 cameos, Dream Thresh, 18 lands. Format as slow as it is, I think we'll be okay. But fixing is also really nice. Yeah, I talked myself into it. So Phyrexian and Bloodstock notably very bad and dangerous in a deck like this because it has to destroy a white creature, so if your opponent doesn't have one, you have to sacrifice a white creature. I'm going to start with Singe. Just not, like, Primal Growth is great, but I'm really not interested in moving into green at this juncture, and the rest of these cards are pretty medium. So, might not main deck the Singe, but it's a very playable card. Raising Snid I just do not like. Making yourself sacrifice lands is just super scary and unnecessarily risky. Thunderscape Fam, reducing black spells is like pleasant, but I'm just going to take this 4 mana 4/3. That's pretty big for the format. We'll see how this Silver Drake ends up being. I've kind of moved us away from... Oh my god, it's Goblin Game. Ooh. I think we just take another Caldera Kavu, though. Noxious Vapors is not good when you're playing a big color pile. And Moric Toad is just not as good as Caldera Kavu, so... Red-black was like pretty open this pack, which is nice. Ooh, and the Volcano... but it's the Sea Snid. Yes, more fixing. Just a 5 mana 3/3 solid. This is pick 7, so this... What did I take over this? Oh, I took Voice of All, right, yeah. So, of course I didn't look at the rest of the pack because there's Voice of All. I will play the Mog Jailer. I am interested in a 2/2 with Defender, I think, in this deck. I think that's quite reasonable. Guess there's a world where I play Confound. Exotic Disease is not terrible, but only going upstairs is just a little rough on that. I'm liking where our deck is at. Bog down, reasonable into control mirror. Raising Snid. On color, uncommon, don't want it. Alright, let's see some... Oh, another Lightning Angel would be cool. I'd like that. A Quicksilver Dagger of any variety. Overgrown Estate, not really what I was looking for, to be honest, but we got Jilt, Razorfin Hunter, awesome. But it probably ends up being Fire Ice, just for the efficiency. That card's just pretty good. Raka Disciple is also okay, but I think worse than all the other cards I talked about. I've got 4 Kavu for this Brass Herald if I want to do that. That doesn't seem like where I need to start, though. I think I'd rather start just with this Fire Ice. Oh, but Razorfin Hunter's so good. Fire Ice threatens to kill 2 X1s, but Razorfin Hunter just says I'm going to do the job myself and then stick around. But Fire Ice is so much more flexible. I don't know. I don't feel good about that decision. Okay, Phyrexian Rager versus Goblin Legionnaire. This is pick for me, and then Raka Disciple, Squeeze Embrace. Don't take Sanctuaries, they don't function on Magic Online. This cycle's cool, but they just don't work, so don't bother. I got a lot of 3-drops, but yeah, I think I'll take the Goblin. I think it's better than Rager here. Okay, so here now it's between Rager and Coalition Honor Guard. And that's a tough one. That is a tough one. I think I'm going to take Honor Guard. This card is just very disruptive. No Foul Presence. Manacles of Decay, Night Day, Putrid Warrior, Dead Ringers. I think I'm kind of a Dead Ringers deck, although I really want this Mournful Zombie. Foul Presence is like not the worst, but I think just not necessary. Yeah, I think I want this for the card advantage. Speaking of card advantage, holy moly. Verdict and Rising are pretty good. I think because of how long the games go, I just want this Uprising, I mean. Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me. Another Honor Guard, okay. Feel worse about picking the one I did earlier now, of course, but that's alright. Probably put this... this point, we don't even like need to be blue. And like most of my blue cards are fixing. Could maybe switch to something like this. Try to pick up some more creatures, but oh, but there's the dagger that I was looking for. So blue cards back in. Oh, this is gonna be a tough deck build. I think with the 2 cameos, though, that are blue, and some other reasonable blue cards here, I think I just want it. Coastal Drake is pretty good. Yeah, I don't want any of the rest of those. Okay, so it was slightly disappointing. Apocalypse didn't go quite as well as I would have liked. I want to take a Raka Disciple now, or a Angel Fire Crusader. Probably the Disciple. Okay, sorry for that brief interlude there. Honestly, it's been lucky that I have recorded as much content as I have so far without a real life distraction or other thing I need to take care of coming up, or interruption. That's the word I was looking for, interruption. So we just missed the tail end of the draft there, but nothing super duper exciting in there. So now we are left with deck building, which looks like it's going to be pretty challenging for this deck. So I'm just starting here with like, these are all of the playable 4-color non-green cards here. I'm not really interested in anything up here at this time. I guess there's a world where Confound is good, but it's not very much not this deck. So kind of, I think the most important question is, how big do I want my blue splash to be? And I think I can pretty comfortably cut Dream Thrush and Sea Snid as they're just a little low impact for what I want this splash to be. Similarly, I think Silver Drake is just going to be too... We don't have quite the density of white creatures, and we're not going to have the density of blue creatures to make this really powerful as a tempo play. And that's really where it's best. Living Airship, playable, but without... We do have a green source in Rith's Grove, but probably not enough to make this a thing we want to do. So I'm definitely interested in splashing for Quicksilver Dagger off of 2 cameos, and Coastal Drake is also kind of interesting in this deck as well. Returning Kavus is helpful for like saving some of our creatures from removal. Is like a pretty real thing, as well as of course disrupting our opponent's Kavus. Not sure if that makes it worth it on such a small splash, but being a flyer is also like a pretty nice thing. So, unsure on this one, but I think I can cut it. It's close though. Like, even on a splash, I think it's like powerful enough to be useful. We have a lot of small creatures on the ground, and I think Singe is just pretty cuttable. Dealing 1 damage is fine, but we've got like Fire Ice, Goblin Legionnaire, and a whole bunch of cheap creatures on the ground that make that, I think, less problematic than it would be otherwise. So I'm thinking I want to be either 17 or 16 lands with this deck. I know that's somewhat blasphemous in this like frequently 18 land format, but I think the 3 cameos really changes the math on that. So I definitely don't want to play 18. I think I'm going to flood with that. And so it's 17 or 16, but we still in either instance, we have 1 to 2 more cuts with that. And really don't know what is the best there. I think Glimmering Angel is the 4-mana 2/2 that can give itself Shroud flying. I feel like this is going to be worse. Like, we're going to probably play some more black and red sources. So I think Phyrexian Slayer is going to be good in addition to that text about when it's blocked by white creatures. Notably, it's not when it blocks, it's when it is blocked. So it has to be attacking for that text to be relevant. Still think our white cards are good here. I do really want to play this Voice of All. I guess this wasn't something I was super explicit about when drafting, but when you do these 4-color piles, you really don't want to have too many double-costed spells, but Annihilate and Voice of All are pretty juicy ones to have access to. And again, the cameos make that more palatable than usual. I think I do want these Rocket Disciples because I think we're gonna have trouble like clearing some like really congested boards. So I think giving flying is great, and then like the gain 1 mode is really powerful as well. Maybe I don't know. Our curve is like we're like heavy on 3s and 4s, but we don't have like an absurd number of like expensive activated abilities. Like Urborg Uprising is a super expensive card, but other than that, it's like Caldera Kavu, and the rest of these creatures get activated for like 1 mana. So I'm thinking I might actually be okay running 16 lands. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. So I think I want 2 islands so that I have 4 blue sources in this cameo, and it's only to cast Quicksilver Dagger. Rocket Disciple has activated abilities. Fire Ice is useful with that, but it's not something that we desperately need. We do probably need more white sources in this, and we don't need 6 mountains because we don't have any double red cards, and we do have a lot of use for double black and double white. So, but we're still like a pretty predominantly red deck. So, this is 15 lands right here. So what do I want an extra of? Do have 2 black cameos, which is nice. Probably just an extra planes then, because we only have 1 white cameo. I think... Oh, but there's also the Rith's Grove. Oh, right, so I need to... I do only want to add 15 lands here. So I think I'm back to this. And... Oh, the Rith's Grove as another red source makes me want to go down to 4 mountains here. So we got 5 red sources, 6 white sources. I hate doing mana bases. I think I like this. And you can get in there, Chief. Yeah, I think we'll give it a shot with this. I'm not locked in. If we play a match and things go poorly, definitely down to readjust, but let's give this a go. Okay, here we are for the first match. We are versus a singular Bitter Blossom, which would probably beat any deck in this format. And They chose to play first, which is interesting. Not a given in this format, but we've got 3 colors of mana, our 3 most important ones. So we can just get to this Rocket Disciple nice and quick. Maybe get in for a point of damage before we start just preventing damage to ourselves. And I think the attack for 1 here is just fine. Okay, card's good. And we'll just get our 2/2 defender into play here. Yeah, so this is damage that would be dealt to any target, so we can stop it attacking ourselves, but oh, that's terrifying. Let's see if they have to make the attack. Okay, they do. Interesting. Alright, so I'm going to prevent the next 2 damage that would be dealt to here. That is... yeah, I did that right. What do I want to discard here? Discarding the land is maniacal. Discarding Magma Burst is also maniacal because we have to kill Blazing Spectre like right now. So then it's which 4-drop or Quicksilver Dagger. Dagger is a far way off, but it's just so good, and we're kind of set up to do it. Huh. Oh, opponent talking about the attack. Yeah, don't beat yourself up. There's a lot of weird cards going on here. I think with the second Coalition Honor Guard in my deck, I can just bin that. And just going to Magma Burst on the main phase. I do not wish to sacrifice 2 lands to deal 3. I'll get in there. I'm not going to respect another haste creature. That doesn't seem realistic. Blazing Spectre is really good. Ooh, Dead Ringer is very nice. Okay. Alright, here's my 4/3. I'm not feeling good about this game, I'll say that much. These are okay things for us. Okay. I'll wait on the Raka Disciple because maybe if they see it, they say, oh, I don't want to make this attack now. But they're cool with this, so we got another one. So they want to race with their 4/3 versus my 2/2. I think I'm very happy with this. Oop, another spell. Doesn't untap during your untap, so whenever you cast a non-red spell, untap it. So I don't really want to trade my Mire Kabu for that, so I think I'm just going to pass here. If they attack, I probably have to take it. Now prevent one of this. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Okay. Oh, I guess I'm killing this Dwarven patrol. Triple block is no good here. If they draw nothing, I think I win this race, but if they attack with their 1/1s, I'm like happy to trade the disciple damage for that. If not, I will prevent damage to myself. I wonder if they're 2 colors or like missing a color right now. Ooh, that's a nice one. Alright, play the land. Let's get in here with the Marikabu. Oop, I don't want all that. I just want to tap like this, so this way I can hold up some pump here in addition to I guess I got 1 pump and Rocket Disciple, but this makes their next turn a lot more complicated. So now I got 2 4-power creatures coming in. I can still very easily lose this game. I'm not feeling safe. But they've got 3 damage this turn, and then 4 next turn if I have to be aggressive with the Disciple. Make sure I don't forget to do this. Ooh. Wow. That made things complicated. Okay. Wow, okay. Alright. So combat is not changing here. Combat is not changing. Let's attack with my 2 creatures that are 4-power creatures, because I think that's still the fastest way to get this game over with. They do have to block with something here. Do I wish to act any further now? I can only deal a maximum of 4 damage. So I can't put them to lethal here. I'm taking 2, going to 6, and they'll have 3 damage on board next turn. So I'm dead to like a magma burst if they go upstairs. This does any target, right? Yeah. So let's pump here. They're just tapping it. And I think I put this on the Disciple, and I'm just going to wait. If they want to... Or yeah, let's just see so that I can try to make myself not dead. Okay, they conceded. Great, because this turn was going to be challenging. Like, if they just do nothing right here, do I activate Rocket Disciple? And I think I do. Like, if they attack me with anything, I think I do activate the Disciple to try to protect myself. And then present 2 lethal attackers on the way back. Maybe that means I shouldn't have put the dagger on it at all. Probably. That was probably not great. Okay, we saw a lot of Singe targets, so I think I am interested in that. And like it was annoying things like the Nightscape Apprentice, or not Nightscape, that was Thunderscape. So I kind of want to beat up on those a little bit. Crimson Acolyte also looks really good versus their deck. And yeah, so let's bring in these two. What looked not so good? Hooded Kavu looks very bad versus a black deck that can just block it, and then this evasion doesn't do much. I guess Mog Jailer is just a pretty easy cut. Card doesn't do a whole lot. It's weak. It looked moderately aggressive, but I don't know. I think I'm inclined to keep this. Fire Ice looks really good versus their deck, and we get Beneless Trapper on top of that. You do have like 3 black pseudo black cards. I guess Myrkavu is like playable immediately. Do I want to play Beneless Trapper this turn or develop my Mountain and get the Kavu in next turn? And I probably just want to get the Kavu in next turn. Okay. Very slow start from them. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. Slide that bad boy in there. So, unfortunately, despite having access to all of our mana, our exotic curse is still only one. Oh my god, no, please, no. Oh, it's horrific. Oh, this is bad. I know I have the Fire Ice in hand, but this is just a very good 2-for-1. I'm just gonna discard the Trapper. That's not happening for a while. Believe I will play the island, and I'm not messing around. I just want to Fire Ice this right now. I don't want to see that again. Next turn we can play Caldera Kavu, hold up Pump, and also color change it. Please not another one. These are rares, right? Yeah, it's uncommon in Vintage Masters, but rare in this format. Which is appropriate because that card's scary. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this card is bugged, unfortunately. Another... Oh, wait, no. It looks like they fixed it. That looks like what it's supposed to do. It used to be that you couldn't pay the kicker. They fixed Emblazoned Golem? Oh, you love to see it. Good work, Magic Online team. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just gonna put my 2/4 into play. Just snapping off a block here. Ooh, that's a punish there. Scorching Lava. What do I want to do now? Mana efficient play is to get the Myrakavu in, but so we're just like straight up singeing the Thunderscape Familiar. I'm just pretty happy to do that. And then it's, do I want to play Kavu or Kavu? Kavu or Kavu? Incredible commentary. You can't get this anywhere else, folks. Do I want to play the Caldera or the Mire? I think I want to get the Mire into play. Because if they want to race, this is the card I'm happier racing with? Question mark. So look at me main phasing my Singes. That Deadly Dispute from Pauper has just ruined my brain. I just gotta main phase all my removal. Oh, not more spells. More spells. No. Oh god, that's bad. This one's fine. This is whatever. It's this yeah, the 2/2 is gonna be a problem. I think as good as Raka Disciple is here, I think we are going to use that to discard to Blazing Spectre. So that we can Uprising those two things back and like have an immediate play, but this is bad. Bad for sure. I think I'm getting in on this double block on the Emblazoned Golem. I'm curious if they want to offer that as well. Nope. Okay, I like this play from them. Another scary one for sure. Remember when I passed Razorfin Hunter? I do. I very much do. So they can't activate the pump on Thunderscape Apprentice, so it's still just a 3/4, which is like a dangerous double block to play here, but one that I am unfortunately very willing to make. Ooh. Ooh. But I think I just take this turn to Uprising, right? Get back the Trapper, get back Raka Disciple. These are pretty medium cards, though. No, I think I still do that. Okay. Alright, we're gonna start dying to this Thunderscape Apprentice, so we really need to start working our way through that, but Mournful Zombie will check that. And then Beneless Trapper on top of that's going to be good, and then the Quicksilver Dagger can start going to town. Oh, Zombie Boa. That's very bad. Very bad. But we can kind of stop that to an extent. I think here I actually want to dagger my Kavu. I need to start hitting some land drops to dig out of this, and perfect. Perfect. Okay. Meyer Kavu now checks Emblazoned Golem on its own. We can start gaining life. So it's really just the Zombie Boa that's not checked at this point. And we can get to the Benelish Trapper to start to do that. And then Dagger will hopefully just continue to take over. Still got a lot of good draws in our deck. Okay, so they know that they name white here because they know about this Benelish Trapper. So they get the option here, which is not ideal. Actually, I want the Trapper more, so I'm fine with this. Because the Zombie Boa is the biggest problem. So I'm going to be taking 3 a turn here. Oof. Yeah, so they name red. And I'm going to prevent the next one that would be dealt here. If they have like something that cares about the color of Caldera Kavu, you know, I get blown out here, but such is life. Ooh, Crimson Acolyte is not the worst. Alright, but let's start with a draw. Dead Ringers, let's go. Let's go. Really choked on white mana here, so I'm going to destroy Thunderscape Familiar and Thunderscape Apprentice. Wait, how does Dead Ringers work with artifact creatures? Destroy 2 target non-black creatures unless either one is a color the other isn't. They cannot be regenerated. Yeah, so I cannot do anything with Emblazoned Golem here. If they're 2 artifact creatures, I think I could do it. And I think that's why what this prompt is suggesting to me. But I just want to kill these 2 right now. End of story. And painful as it is, I think I need to get the Trapper in play here, take another 3 from Zombie Boa, go to 5, and then hope that I can stabilize from there. Really needed another white source to do some of this stuff. Oh my god, their own Fire Ice, that's atrocious. It's so bad. Oh god. Oh, we're dying. Okay, they just chose red. This is activate only as sorcery, right? I'm kind of down for this double block to just move on with my life. They can activate this multiple times, right? Yeah. Alright, we're gonna get the Acolyte online and just continue hanging out. Okay, that's fine for us here. Maybe they don't know about Rakdos or Raka Disciple giving flying. That would be handy. Can still give pro red here, so someone destroys artifacts, right? Enchantments, okay. So they're just getting the swamp out of my hand, which is fine. Awesome draw. Awesome. Okay. This attack is good. I should have done this before. But it's okay. This game brought to you by Raka Disciple, by the way. Card has really done a lot to stabilize. Yes. Okay. Cool. We got one. Nice. That match was Raka Disciple. It was all of it, not entirely, but you know, like it was a really good card. You get where I'm at. Okay. Sweet. I think we were also in a weird spot where like the rest of our deck is kind of just lands, right? We're a 16 land deck. We've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands. So there's 9 decks. So like half of our cards are lands, more than half. Well, 10 if we count the cameo as well. So there's just 6 spells left in our deck. We were actually in like a bit of trouble. Okay. Okay, round number 2 versus J. Pablo. I would not like to play first. Oh, this hand is good. Oh, it's good. Oh, this format's awesome. I love it. Ooh. Wisely, just draw what you need. Maybe they have a fire ice of their own or a counter spell. Prohibit. You got it. Get a little bit of that on color fixing. uncastables, but that's fine. On some Grixis, but they did get some good blue cards, which is like the biggest problem with Grixis is there's not enough blue in pack 1. They choose black, they get my Phyrexian Slayer. Okay. I did kind of want to cast that, to be honest. White source? White source? White source! I think I'm going to name black here because I think it's more likely based on Adel and Fire Ice that red is the splash color than black is the splash color. Like, I feel like you wouldn't just splash for Adel, but would you splash for a little Fire Ice action? Absolutely. Blue I don't think is a really great name here, although Jilt is a card that would definitely cause some problems for this voice of all. There's a lot of things really that would, but... Okay, Island, Swamp, Sleeping Potion. Terminate. Excuse me. Because this has Regenerate, I do think I'm like interested in Fire Icing it. And they get to know the contents of my hand here, but that's fine. They're dying pretty quickly. Grave Defiler is like not the worst as a regenerator, but it is just a little low power. And obviously if you don't have zombies to fetch with it, it's worse yet. Baron Spite. Choose a creature to sacrifice and return the other. So I would like to sacrifice Mog Jailer. And then I get the Myra-Kavu back to hand. Cool. I'm not really going to respect land destruction from them, so I'm just going to play out my swamp, especially because they know about it. Or maybe they could get bamboozled by a discard spell later, but don't really need to play into that. This is 7 damage, but I imagine they have at least one blocker in their 4-card hand. Alright. So, Grixis. Pretty heavy black. Looks like they might be lighter on blue, actually, but hard to tell. The 3 mountains definitely starts to say, like, it could be challenging to know what their splash is, but yeah, Grixis. I don't think Confound... Confound's not the worst, actually. They got a bunch of removal spells, like counter your Baron Spite, draw a card. That seems pretty rude. Escape routes. We do have a lot of white and black creatures versus their removal deck, but that's just harder to hold up. Crimson Acolyte is useful, and Glimmering Angel is also somewhat useful. Bog Down is like reasonable, but I don't think we have to go so deep that we want to cast Bog Down. Mog Jailer is just a pretty easy cut for some of these things. Similarly, Hooded Kavu, when the fear doesn't work, and I'm bringing in like some other potent creatures, I think I like that. Yeah, so let's bring in Glimmering Angel and Confound. Am I okay with my blue source count in this world? Not really, but I'm going to give it a shot, I think. Maybe I lowered my creature count a little bit too much there versus a reactive deck, but I don't know. Oh, you know what I should have done? They choose to play first. I think I mulligan this, because we do have just better hands, and this is just mono uncastables, even though we're on the draw, and like this is fine. I'm actually just going to put back Fire Ice, because these are just some great cards to have access to in this matchup. Annihilate may have questionable targets, but the rest of this is just very good for us. We do need that third land, though. I can't addle and take the Seashell cameo, I don't believe, so... Alright, how about that third land? If they choose black, good name. Probably take Urborg Uprising if they're playing for the long game, but any of these... Well, I guess it's Urborg Uprising or Annihilate. I can't imagine you take Exotic Curse over Annihilate. Unless your deck is just like mono black creatures, at which point you're laughing at me, and perhaps reasonably so. Maybe I should have boarded out Annihilate. It's just so good. You draw a card, and you kill a creature. It's like better than Ravenous Chupacabra in some ways. This is a real sample hand, though. This is got a lot going on. Okay, so we drew planes. Do I want to just cash my... I was trying to say cast or cash in, and I just blurred them together for that one. Do I want to put Benalish Trapper into play, or do I wish to Seashell cameo? And I think I just want to get the Trapper in play. It gets better like next turn if I don't do anything, then I can play cameo, tap a creature that they play. That's just like gotta be better tempo for us. Looking like Fire Ice, my Trapper, which is a perfectly fine exchange to have happen. Maybe they got a prohibit for this. It's annoying, but not the end of the world. Well, it's like pretty bold if you look at my hand with this Myrkavu to say, like, yeah, I don't want to prohibit. I'm not respecting a flash creature. Okay. probably should have cycled on their main phase, but I don't know what's going on in their hand. Okay, Razorfin Hunter's interesting. And we drew the red mana to cast Racket Disciple, whereas like if we didn't draw red mana, it'd just be like, just exotic curse that. Stop thinking. And the answer is still probably just to exotic curse here. But just a smidge more awkward for sure. I would just rather deal with that sooner rather than later. It's going to deal a lot of damage, give them a lot of control over the board. And this way, if they play another creature, now I can like cast my cameo, still tap down a creature of theirs, and like be in a good spot. So they do have perfect information here. These cameos are so nice in this deck. Okay. Can't do much about that. They prohibit this, we are like slowing down, but yeah, I'm fine making this attack. It's not hugely necessary. Some may even call this attack bad. I already like kind of regret it, but here we are. Gotta get my 1 damage in and risk losing a very valuable card. Just good gameplay. I will sacrifice Penniless Trapper, get my Meyer Kabu back. Assemble Cameotron. So like I mentioned before, Invasion block, one of my favorite formats. Just there's so many cool things going on. One of many cool things is flavor text is just great, and all of the cameos have like some of the better flavor text of just like very independent stories. I really enjoy those. I am going to annihilate Tongarth because that card's a problem. I could give flying here, but I don't super want to. Oh, this is bad though. That's a really good confound right there. What? Oh my god. Oh, we're very dead now. Oh, I shouldn't. I forgot to prevent 1 damage to myself. That will not be the crux of this game, I'll tell you what. Well, we're going to die very fast here. So I really need these Crimson Acolytes now that I've seen Terminate, Razorfin Hunter, Tarngarth. I really need this Acolyte in the deck. Anything else here that does great with it? Not really. Yeah, just dead. That's really what I was looking for, which is just the complaint equity of I can now say that I've drawn 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of my 19 mana sources. Not that many creatures would get me out of this, but... Okay, Crimson Acolyte. Desperately need you. These cards do not seem like they're that helpful. Singe doesn't get past regeneration, so not worried about it for the Nightscape Familiar. So definitely want this. Definitely want Confound for Baron Spite and Terminate. Quicksilver Dagger is scary because they have so much removal, but I don't think we get to cut it. I think I would trim a Raka Disciple because they did show the Razorfin Hunter, which this is really bad against. And the rest of our deck is like pretty reasonable versus that. Like Mournful Zombie is also pretty poor, but I like Gaining Life. That might not even be the statement that like Gaining Life is what I should be doing. It's just I do enjoy Gaining Life. I do not want to play first. Okay, this hand is adequate. These are the hands when you look at it and you're just like, ah, of course I need to be on the draw. Why wouldn't I be on the draw? Bam. Rith's Grove, also an absurd draw, so now we're all on line. They're able to deal 1 damage to me anyway here, so I think I'm just attacking. I think I can play this Myakavu slow enough that I'm just going to deploy Goblin Legionnaire this turn. So, like, waiting to hold up Crimson Acolyte activation, I think, is just very good. Waiting to hold up Confound, I don't know if we can afford to play that slowly. Although I guess I'm under, like, actual no pressure, so maybe that's just a nonsense statement, but I do not know. If they want to prohibit me here, I'd probably play the Trapper. Yeah, you got it. So now I just get onto board a little bit ahead. Can start attacking. 2 creatures. Razorfin Hunter's so good. Yeah, I think I'm going to play the Myakavu. I want to tap like this, so that way if they have a shatter effect, they can't interrupt my access to Crimson Acolyte, which is the only thing I'm holding up here. And exclude... Oh my god. Stop. That's so good. Oh, they put a lot of good cards to the bottom. That's, like, actually really important to know. That's really, really important to know. Those are, like, some of the best cards in their deck. Wow. That's really good for us. Ooh, are we gonna... Oh, I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna get cheeky. Oh no, I don't know how Grave Defiler works. Aha. What's regenerate? Aha. You have to put that ability on the stack? That's crazy. Damn it. Yeah. This was probably bad now. If you read that opponent, good on you. That was great. Are you kidding me? This card. It's just destroying me. I've got like 4 removal spells in this deck. It is just blowing me out all the time. Oh my god. Okay, this Dead Ringer's better work. I'm going to be upsetty spaghetti if it does not work. If you have... It's non-black creatures. Are you... Okay. This is really bad. This is really bad. Oh boy. Son of a gun. We can't beat this. I think we're just dead. Taking 3 a turn from this is just so much. Maybe I should have boarded out like one of these two, Dead Ringers or Annihilates, but even so, it's like, what would I have in its place right now is like Mog Jailer. Not really. Hooded Kavu not really helping out on this board, so I don't know. I just need to like see more cards and stabilize. This Lynx-like Goblin's like not hugely problematic here. Like now we have this. Oops, there are Crimson Acolyte is like blocking every turn. Still just 3, which is a lot. But yeah. Okay. Just flooding out too hard here. I went to combat. Not good. Not good. That was a punt, but it doesn't matter because we're not drawing out of this situation. Coalition Honor Guard helps, I hope, if it resolves. And doesn't die immediately. I just can't stop this zombie boa. Well, maybe I should have held the land for repulse. Okay, bog down, sure. Now you get to know my shame. Oh, also, imagine if I was at 3 more life here, and I didn't just throw it away. This is not protection, so you can spend mana on it, that's fine. I will now remember what my cards do. should have given it pro red. I don't know what there is to punish me there, but I should have. And honestly, if they have another creature, I don't think like attack with all here is bad. Yeah, I think this is fine. Because I can't like block in another way. Okay, losing the Grave Defiler is good for me, but I feel like they've been playing too well to make a mistake like that. Okay. This does get them 4 closer to their Baron Spite and the other things. No cards there. Alright, deck, I really need a spell. Twelve of my 19 mana sources again. Yeah, I don't know. I can't draw out of these situations. "12 mana sources versus a 9 is just... I can't beat those odds. Alright. Well, 1-1. See you for round number 3. Alright. We have successfully de-tilted. We are back for round number 3. And this hand, I chose to play first on Reflex. Oh no. Oh, just... Alright, everything's gonna be fine. Everything's just gonna be fine. We're gonna be okay. Like it's really not that catastrophic, but it's just funny after trying to get so frustrated with last round, stepping away for a while, come back, just the first potential game action I can make, just doing wrong. Pretty happy with that trade, honestly. That Skyfolk is better than most of the cards in my deck. Okay, they're also on a bit of a clunker. I can only cast one spell this turn. What would I like that one spell to be? I think probably Coalition Honor Guard. I don't think there's too much that I'm like really keeping them off of by having this in play, but... Ooh, Temporal Spring, okay. That card's pretty poor in this format. It's good, like that was a good use of it for them because it did buy them a turn to make that land drop and potentially hit another, but... Ooh, Jungle Barrier, that's a tough one. Wonder if I name blue or black with voice of all. Could also just run out the other two. Now I kind of want to just get voice online. Now I actually think it's going to be blue because there's just so many good blue removal spells in this format. And the black one has to kill Coalition Honor Guard first, and so the pro blue is going to help me get through flying blockers. I think that's most useful here. That looks like they just tried to target something and then realized they had to hit Coalition Honor Guard. So let's... No, we can yeah, this tapping is fine. Alright, Hooded Kabu. Exclude is brutal. Other one, there we go. I do have 7 cards in hand to my 1, so I feel pretty awful about this game. Alright, so they got the Hypnotist online, so we really just need to be playing out our hand. Fortunately, we do have our mana all online thanks to these cameos, so we can, or we're not like just wrecked by this Hypnotist. Okay, that's kind of a combo. That's cool. We get to pick up Jungle Barrier here. And we're going to be in a lot of trouble post-board versus their deck, because they've got so much discard that's good versus us. Exclude, too. The deck is really good. So if I attack with Caldera Kavu, I can pump it twice. I have a 4/4. That seems not particularly useful, because then they can trade it off with these 3 creatures. And it's only half of the Bobcat, so yeah, that doesn't seem good. Even they can make me discard this if they want. But we'll just keep pecking in for 2 damage in the air here. Probably worth going for a double block here on the Marsh Crocodile if they attack. Wow, that's a tremendous amount of discard. We're so dead in this matchup. We're lucky that these cameos, like, we got to deploy our hand as fast as we did. Still, Kavu's only a 4/4, so not really worth getting in. I'm really surprised at the no attacks with the Marsh Crocodile. Because that seems really challenging to beat. I think I do block. Maybe this turns on like an Urborg Uprising that they have. Rocket Disciple's not terrible here. I probably... I don't have another exclude, please. I can start attacking with the Mournful Zombie with... Oh my god. Oh no. Okay, this is... Oh, this is one of the easiest Foth piles I've ever seen. Like it's just this, right? Maybe you oh boy. This is like a really easy Foth pile and I'm still like just not sure. The reality is it doesn't matter because that's how Fact or Fiction works, but if one of these lands was a swamp, I think it's a more interesting question, but I think I'll just give it to them like that. Okay, so they took Forest Llanowar Druid, cool. Could have maybe done Llanowar Druid versus the World. Or Zombie. Llanowar Zombie, right? Or Llanowar Dead, there we go. Because maybe you just identify that like them getting the black mana is better than the other one, but I don't think it's a huge spew. So I don't think I attack with Mournful Zombie this turn because it doesn't actually change the clock right now. And then maybe this coming turn I start attacking. They've conceded. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I guess they have a lot of air in their deck. Straight up, I mean, obviously Voice of All is like pretty good, but I guess what I gather from this is that their deck is susceptible to flying. And that makes me want some more of these flying creatures. Shield of Duty and Reason is also not the worst thing, but unlikely to really want to do that. Mog Jailer for Glimmering Angel feels fine. We did see a fair number of 1 toughness creatures. There was like the Quirion Explorer and the Ravenous Rats, but I don't think you really want to bring in Singe to deal with those. Living Airship and Coastal Drake are not the worst. Hooded Kavu actually looked like they didn't have a ton of black creatures. So I think that one remains okay. Benelish Trapper also seems quite reasonable. Yeah, maybe I just make that one change and roll with that. I don't think I need to adjust the mana base for that change. Maybe I should have built a more red-heavy build of the deck and had that just in the chamber to fire off need be. Definitely keep this. It's obviously slow and in need of some help, but a blue source and we get to pop off. And we're still like doing a lot in the meanwhile. Maybe this is bad versus all their discard. But no, I've got Quicksilver Dagger. Like, that's gotta be something I want versus a discard heavy draw. Wow. Okay, that's pretty good. Their deck seemed rather good at enabling this, so I don't think I want to mess around. I think that one can just dip on out. So if they Ravenous Rats me, what do I discard? Something to be thinking about. Okay, Primal Growth, that's terrifying. That's like pretty good here, but at least we're not in immediate danger because of that. Now if they rats me, I may discard the Quicksilver Dagger. I was just gonna say if they're yeah, you just main phase this. Oh. I just don't even know. I could attempt the classic lands versus spells, but I feel like they're smart enough to take the spells and just not even question it. Because they're going to have time to deploy all of these. I could split like this and just say manage the board. Like, I think the important thing here is to have Jungle Bear and Exclude opposing each other. I guess because of this Annihilate I have in hand, I really want to convince them to take the Jungle Barrier and the Skyfolk over the Exclude. So maybe I do it like this. I'm kind of tempted to do this pile, though. I think I want to do it like this. Okay, they keep the Exclude. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, the temporal spring is so disgusting here. Oh, that's vile. They tapped out of exclude. Wait, what? Wait, whoa. What? It's so confusing. This is my Caldera Kafu. Okay, this bodes reasonably well. It's horrifying. I believe I just have to kill this now. If my spell resolves. My spell resolved. Fascinating. You got 2 jungle barriers? That's so good. So do I just like bite the bullet on this exclude and say, you got it? And just like toss this Benelish Trapper into it? I think I do. I don't think it's worth bluff attacking there because the bluff cost me mana to try and do that, and I think they could reasonably call on that. I just don't need to bother. Oh boy. Those are 2 really good cards I just discarded. I still have reasonable action on board. All is not lost. I think we just plop this in. No. Oh my god. Okay. I don't think we get to attack on the ground for the rest of the game. Alright, we can potentially ruin that with a blue source. Okay, Urborg Uprising. I guess we only have 2 creatures to get. And I think I tap like so to If I draw a basic land here, I can cast at least one of these, and if not, I'm holding up Raka Disciple. Okay. This has been one of the most brutal Leagues of Limited I've ever experienced. Their discard was so scary game one, and it just got worse for me. Wow. Okay, well, this is happening, so I'll let them think about resolving their trigger. Which is the best of these? Which is the best of these do I want? A creature that can shock things, or do I want the tapper? It's definitely not Mournful Zombie. That one's not good enough here. I think I want the Legionnaire because I want to like actually answer. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Oh my god. Still not awful. We're still like in okay shape. That Sea-Snid, like, taking away a basic island in the future is, like, gonna be challenging, but I guess our blue sources are, like, half islands, half, cameos that don't get bothered by that. I don't see a reason not to play it. I can think of many reasons that I do get punished for holding it, so we just keep hanging out here. Okay, that's a good one. I think just named blue again based on how last game went, where when I had the Coalition Honor Guard in play, all of that just worked out fine. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, oh my god. It's so good. It's so unbelievably good. Marsh Crocodile picking up Mystic Snake? That's nuts. That's so good. Just, it's unbelievable. Like, I just can't run out this cameo into that. Like, sure, maybe they have another discard spell on top of their deck, but it's incredible. Oh my god. Okay, so it's still just Mystic Snake. Like, I just don't even want to do anything. Not until I can, like, double spell with greater regularity. Or, like, greater confidence. Oh. Wait, oh, thank God. Oh, that's interesting here, actually. That's cool. That was going to be really bad if they gave their Marsh Crocodile Land Walk. This gotta be like Mountain Walk or something. Desert Walk. And cool. Great name. Yeah, also, like, so I'm not casting things because then I don't have, like, the pump spells to, like, make Caldera Kavu bigger than Marsh Crocodile. And just start losing the game because of that. What do I want to do here? I think I just play this Pickup Mountain. Just keep creeping in. I'm scared about the right-click attack all situation. Not as... Okay, we did it. We got the 2-1. The opponent's deck is so much better than mine. Oh my god, their deck was so much better. Like, there's also, like, this air problem that they had about, like Primal Growth and Temporal Spring not being an actual answer, or Borgel, Quarian Explorer. Like, they just had a lot of cards that didn't do a whole lot, whereas, like, my dorky 1-drops were, like, Rocket Disciple that gained me, like, 10 life that match, or that game, which was, like, really important to making this race happen. So it's like there were ways in which their deck was worse, but they also had absurd cards like Factor Fiction, multiple Jungle Bears, Exclude, Bog Down, Probe was just so good versus my deck. Wow. And just beating a Mystic Snake Marsh Crocodile. It's so good. I'm just so lucky that I drew the Voice of All when I did. I'm really glad I took it in the draft when I did and took it that highly, because, like, here is Voice of All winning me the match when, like, none of my other cards were doing anything. I mean, Rocket Disciple was helping and, like, the board was stable and all that, but, like, I needed that Voice of All. Also, Coalition Honor Guard. Even when you think it's bad, they just had this random Traveler's Cloak, which actually looked really good here. Maybe I'm evaluating that card too low, because it was very powerful right here. Wow, that was just great invasion magic. Well, it ended up 2-1. Cannot complain about that record. Our deck was not... I think we played against 2 decks that were better than ours, and 1 deck that was much worse. And I think really that... I hate to say this part about Limited. We lost to some rares with our mostly common deck. We had Annihilate, Voice of All, Fire Ice, and the cameos, which, I mean, the cameos are uncommon in Invasion, but effectively, you can just play Manalith in every single limited format nowadays. So, like, to say that, like, these are, like, they were the backbone of our deck, but the backbone in a way that's just kind of more common nowadays, whereas, like, Upright, or Annihilate, Fire Ice, and Voice of All are, like, really powerful uncommons to have access to, which was good, but still mostly a pretty low rarity deck, and lost to, like, Tarngrath and Baron's fight. That match is going to haunt me a while, I think. Not just because I lost, but this whole league just had some really... Those last two matches were just... Opponents' decks were so sick. I was so jealous. But, yeah. Fortunately, this format's not up for long on Magic Online, and I'm recording this on Thursday. And I'm away this weekend, so I don't get to play more of this, which I'm very sad about. But thank you, Magic the Gathering Online, for bringing this back, because it's so much fun. I love this. I have a paper cube of this, which is just... That's how much I love this. This block. It's so many weird cards, weird interactions, but they come together in such a way that feels really fulfilling, and also just has some cool individual designs. Something for everybody, as they say. Unless you're an aggro player. If you enjoy aggro unlimited, this is not good. But yeah, that's about all that I got. So thank you so much for watching. See you next time.